Hey guys, Huzzy here bringing you another video. Now welcome to another Spectating Challenger video. We haven't done one of these in a couple of weeks now, so I thought we might do a couple in a row. So you may get some over the next few days. But basically today we are watching, and specifically Elixeh. I do recognize his name, so maybe he's a pro or ex-pro or something. I do recognize his name. But he is currently sitting at rank 2 on EU West. Obviously Challenger, and we're going to be focusing in on Vladimir. Now, just to remind everybody why I do this series, how it works, etc., is I obviously want to try and start getting better myself, which I haven't focused on in a really long time. And in order to do that, watching replays and stuff is very effective. But it's watching them in the right way, and basically I'm doing this series to help myself and to help you guys, but we're only obviously going to be focusing on champions that I am actually playing. So, we've had a lot of suggestions. I did it in the community tab the other day, and, there's people going, do a singed game and stuff. It's like, that's not really relevant to what I'm ever going to do. Where Vladimir, I've actually been playing quite a bit of. You guys have been watching the channel. So, yeah, rank 2 EU West, obviously, as a mid lane main, I believe. So I'm going to see what he does different. Obviously, the first thing that we can notice that he's done different is his setup. So his setup is going Predator with Teleport, instead of what I usually go is Ignite with Electrocute. Now, I don't know if this is match specific. Is it just, is this what he does every game? I'm not really sure. He's laning against a LeBlanc, which is a bit of a weird matchup because in theory, a Vladimir can do very well versus a LeBlanc, but it depends how good the LeBlanc is, right? And obviously, this is very high up in Challenger, so it's probably... And again, this it seems a bit jittery at the moment. I don't know why. But yeah, basically, you'd expect it to be a very good LeBlanc. Trade comes in both to about half health. So we'll see how it goes. Like, Vladimir, you could say, has a much bigger teamfight advantage. LeBlanc has got maybe a better 1v1 advantage. Potentially, if I was a Vladimir and I was running Electrocute Ignite, I probably wouldn't be that scared of a LeBlanc, but this guy is running Predator, which is obviously not really the 1v1 rune. And again, this just to remind people how replays work in League. This had to be recorded and played, on this patch. You only can get replay files from the patch that I'm recording it, and I'm recording it the patch that this video gets released. Okay, so he takes W level 2, which is interesting, basically to avoid the burst damage that LeBlanc was about to dish out, so that is something worth noting. Sacrifices taking E level 2, takes the W instead. And again, for whatever reason, it seems that the replay file is going a bit jittery whenever I'm locking onto the Vladimir. It's fine when I'm not, so I guess we just can't do that for this video. Anyway, there was vision of Camille in the enemy jungle, so in river, so either top lane or going for the blue buff. Vladimir hits level 3. Going for the Q onto the Blanc, even goes for an E, unfortunately doesn't get any of it. Gets that cannon, so already farm-wise, looks to be relatively perfect farm. Don't know if they've missed at all. May have missed that one. But yeah, what I basically want to see from the Vladimir in my own thought process, and again, that's how I learn, is I expect things from people. Do they do it? And if they don't do it, what do they do different? And that's how I can kind of learn. I'm expecting a relatively easy farm lane for this Vladimir. Just to get through it without much hiccups. Probably trying to avoid as much damage as the LeBlanc can dish out. Gets hit a little bit there, looking for return damage. And that's probably what you'll see mainly from this Vlad, is when LeBlanc jumps in, he'll look for a Q. Basically to just trying to, regen a lot of the health that he may miss from the LeBlanc doing a little bit of poke. So once again, oh, interesting. Doesn't use his empowered Q. I don't know why. Maybe he didn't want the wave to push at all. Again, you can very much see that he is clearly not pushing this wave on purpose. That minion is one auto attack from death for ages. Did not auto attack it because he does not want this lane to push anywhere beyond the halfway point. So he's got very good wave control right now. Getting a lot of farm. He's not missing farm, but he's maximizing where the wave is. He doesn't want the wave to be up here because that puts him in danger. So that is something that we already can note, and we're already kind of learning, is wave control seems to be a very big thing here, which is kind of cool. But also, obviously the counterpoint to that is LeBlanc is a roaming champion, if you will. You don't want to let the wave build up so much that it's going to take you ages to get it, and then, the LeBlanc can just roam. Meanwhile, there's obviously a bad situation happening in bot lane. Both of the Vladimir's team bot lane has just died. He did just take nearly a full combo from that LeBlanc there, so does chunk him quite a bit. He's using his first health potion of the game. He probably took that chunk damage due to, you know, trying to get the minions and wave controlling instead of, like, trading. But again, it's a Vladimir. If he doesn't get affected too much in the next minute or so, he'll probably just get back to full health. He is using his second potion. LeBlanc goes in. He actually mistimes that W, but they do manage to get LeBlanc flash. Trundle flashes as well, which is, again, that wasn't a great flash, but it's good to get the LeBlanc flash. I'd say Elixeh himself mistimed his W because he did take the damage before. If he timed the W a little bit better, he wouldn't have taken any damage. Unfortunately, LeBlanc stays around, which is very smart, because I'd imagine most people in that situation would have just gone back to buy. This LeBlanc didn't. Again, it's Challenger. Stays around. Camille comes for a gank. They know Trundle doesn't have flash, and boom, free kill for the LeBlanc, which gives her, obviously, probably slight gold advantage, especially if she manages to get all this farm. Vision of Camille in the river right there. Vladimir might actually look for an all-in play here. She might die. Okay, so this is a really nice play by Vladimir. So again, smart play. He knows she doesn't have flash. She didn't have, like, mobility at that current time. Camille is obviously hunting. So again, that's knowing when you can be aggressive, knowing when you can go for a kill. So let's see what he does here. He throws a ward down so you can get full vision of where the enemy is. He probably knows Camille is hunting here somewhere. And he gets away. So really, really nice play. Good dive. Vladimir, obviously a great diving champion. And, like, all you could say there is just great decision making. You know, Trundle unfortunately died here, but they get a return kill, which is kind of cool. Also, just worth note that this top lane matchup, again, we're not focusing on it, but it's a Diana top. I don't know who this person is. I presume it may be a one-trick, because why would you play Diana top? But you can see here how desperate that Diana is to get ahead of that Jax. 3 Doran's rings is ridiculous. That is basically the Diana, like, in essence, telling you in all chat, I have to get ahead of you, otherwise I'm screwed. They're basically telling you that. Anyway, this Trundle is having quite a rough time versus the enemy Camille. She is quite strong. He is quite weak. Again, Trundle, when he's behind with no flash, no mobility, he can suffer. And especially with a Camille who can jump around and jump over walls, like, there's a big difference there. And it is being shown right now. So Vladimir teleport coming to the bot lane. They seem to be turning around. LeBlanc actually could be roaming right now, but there's the shutdown. Vladimir, by the way, in the last split second, cancels the teleport, which I don't know if the right idea, because LeBlanc actually was on her way. She gets 1 kill. Vladimir's still in the mid lane, and that's probably going to be it. But yeah, last millisecond, Vladimir cancels that teleport. When I knew LeBlanc was going down, you saw her roam that way. So I don't know if that was the right call, because if he remained teleporting, yeah, sure, he wasn't involved in the first kill, but he potentially could have got something with LeBlanc. So this is a little bit of a weird play. We don't know where Camille is, so the Vladimir, in my opinion, should be very careful here. Gets chained. Honestly, I'd say he should back off pronto. So here it is. He overstays. He's probably dead. Like, he doesn't have flash, and he just gets himself killed. They get a kill in top lane, which is nice. But again, like I said time and time before, we've done a few of these episodes now, and I've always said you will always be able to spot mistakes no matter what rating you're watching. And again, that's why people get so surprised, even like when with my commentaries, like, God, you're a diamond player? Watching videos and watching replays is ridiculously easy to spot mistakes. A bronze 5 player will be able to spot several mistakes in the Challenger game, because it's just the basis of it. It's very easy to do, and that was just a very basic mistake. Overstaying without any vision. You know the Camille's coming back from base. She's going to head to mid lane. So, yeah, it happens. Anyway, build-wise, so the build, there's a bit of separation happening, because those 2 items I don't believe build into one. So you've got, obviously, the movement speed Aether Wisp, and you've got the Fiendish Codex for cooldown reduction. I presume this Vladimir is going to go with the, I can't even remember, the item that you get the 100 AP from charging up abilities. I presume he's going to go for that one, because that does seem the popular Vladimir item, and it seems it's like the only champion that the item is actually any good with. So that's what I presume he's going to do, but it's interesting to me that he is delaying the item to buy the cooldown reduction. Wow, a lot of damage coming in there. So LeBlanc gets a double chain on him, and again, there you can say is another mistake. That Vladimir got chained when, in theory, if he times a W well, he won't get chained like that. So again, potentially you could say another mechanical mistake. He's dead again. And that opens up all this potential. So they kill mid lane. Now they're going bot lane with a gank. LeBlanc, you can see, is roaming down as well. All of this can happen. Whoa. All of this can happen. Good return kill because of the death. But yeah, that was greed by the enemy team. Rakan does go for a double summoner spell play using both Ignite and Flash. But yeah, really nice turn. So build-wise... Okay, so this Vladimir is very much like I need, and yeah, that's, by the way, just going to happen more and more probably. Cooldown reduction seems to be this guy's best friend. So what I will say so far is I am actually very interested to see, like, is the Predator going to be at all useful? Because we haven't really seen the Predator do anything yet. But on playstyle and item build, to me, this much more seems like a electrocute playstyle. Like, you know, he dove the LeBlanc under tower. Whenever he's roamed, he's gone for a teleport. So to me, I'd actually say, like, potentially Electrocute would have been more useful so far. And this is where we'll see for the remaining part of this game. Is he going to use Predator? Is he going to roam with it? Like, how useful is it going to be? Because, again, right now it hasn't been that useful, to be honest. So very little vision around the mid lane, especially up the top side. So I'd be very wary of, like, over here. Maybe, like, behind here, but probably less so. But yeah, Jax is probably just going to completely outscale that Diana again. When someone's building triple Dorans against you, you know you've got advantage. Alright, so there's the chain. Again, we've mentioned that a few times now, that Vladimir really should not be letting himself get chained. He goes for a Predator play. Wow, okay. Again, there's only certain things you'll ever see in Challenger, and knowing that, like, having the confidence to pull that off was ridiculous. So he Predatored, he flashed, and he did the full combo. Well, I think he did empowered Q, E, ult, and killed the Camille. Basically just a free kill. That was really cool to see. Okay, gets chained, but he does nearly kill the LeBlanc with the empowered Q again, and his E. So this is where the Vladimir might be able to start to take over the lane a little bit. Because again, like I mentioned, Vladimir should beat a LeBlanc, really, if you're playing well. But this guy is getting chained a lot by her. And again, remember, it's not just about using your W to dodge LeBlanc chain. Also, like, moving. You can just dodge it yourself. You just juke the skill shot. So, yeah. Anyway, this first tower in top lane, that lane is completely over. Trundle's doing Rift Herald, does actually manage to get it, which is nice. Jax is actually 2v1ing at the moment. The Camille and the Diana, they might be able to get him. He nearly kills one of them. Vladimir's coming up for a roam. He gets one of them. Will he get another one? Diana uses Flash. Vladimir's got his empowered Q. Trundle throws an ultimate to reduce her resistances, and Trundle picks it up. So there you go. There is a roam by the Vladimir. Nice to see. That was without Predator because he used it in mid lane before. And also, Vladimir did not use teleport for that, so he can actually probably teleport back to mid lane to avoid that taking a lot of damage. Pretty nice. So build-wise again, remember he went Dark Seal and Refillable was his starting 2 items, which again, against the LeBlanc, to me, again, double chain, against the LeBlanc, to me, is very ballsy doing that play. But there you go. So he gets double chained again. He's popped Predator, going for a kill, nearly gets the kill. LeBlanc actually flashes. This is going to be really close. Uses his empowered Q to heal himself up a little bit more. And this again, there could be a kill here any second. Vladimir W is up in now, so he should have more confidence to move forward, knowing that the LeBlanc can't damage him instantly if he uses W at the right time. He's also got Jax as backup if Camille were to come. So again, a lot of this is just very straightforward at the moment, but it's just basically executed nearly perfectly. And that's what Challenger is. Again, League of Legends is a complicated game in many aspects, sure. You know, a new player a lot of the time gets overwhelmed. But when you watch this stuff, even when you watch pro play, a lot of the time as a League player, you're not completely, like, again, double chain and gets killed. A lot of the time, you're not getting absolutely baffled going, what just happened there? Like, a lot of the time, you know what's going on, but it's just executed near perfection. And that is what makes a Challenger player. Honestly, that's a kind of funny bug. He's standing up. But yeah, like, one thing I would say, I am not impressed so far, and you could either say it's a mistake by the Vladimir, or it's just a good LeBlanc. And again, it's a Challenger LeBlanc, so it could be. But it's the amount of chains that he's going to hit by, man. I've mentioned it quite a bit now, because it's a big deal. Okay, so Rakan is coming down, doesn't manage to get the taunt, so they do manage to survive. LeBlanc going for the tower. Jax purposely kills the minions, so LeBlanc takes some tower damage. I think she's going to teleport back, yeah, so she gets away, she gets the tower. Kai'Sa manages to hit that. Unfortunately, I think she's going for the wrong... Oh, no, she is going for the right one, but she is going to go for the kill. Wow, that was a W and a half. It was like through minions and everything. All right, so there we go. I was right. So Vladimir completes his Spellbinder. That's what it's called. So, again, I don't know. I like... You know, he's used Predator a bit, but he's not used Predator, I'd say, in its, like, intended, you know, purpose. Predator's intended purpose is to roam, let's say, to top or bot lane really fast. They can't get away in time. Where he's used Predator just for mid lane. Like, that's it. He's just, like, being aggressive with it. A couple, like, flash plays alongside it for burst. That's basically what he's used it for. They get the mid tower. Teleport from Ezreal coming in. Wow, that damage from a Camille is very high. Vladimir might be able to go for an ultimate play pretty soon, but he's going to be careful of the Diana burst if he doesn't have W. Teleport from Jax. Diana jumps on him. Diana then jumps onto the Vladimir. She's probably going to go down. Does throw her Zhonya. Enemy team is outnumbering this team at the moment. Vladimir picks a kill up. Trundle dies basically instantly. And again, this was an outnumbered team fight to begin with. Kai'Sa remained in bot lane. She hasn't based in a while. She's got no mana. So, yeah, it was a, what, 1-for-1? Something like that? It's fine. Again, Vladimir picked himself up another kill. I'd presume, what's he building next? Maybe the Zhonya? Maybe. It depends if he wants to, like, it depends what he wants, right? Does he want survivability, or does he want, he pops Predator, by the way. Does he want survivability, or does he want just pure damage? I'd probably say, if I had to guess with this guy's playstyle, I'd probably say he just wants damage. But again, the use of Predator has confused me a bit, and again, I am using this to learn, and there are a few things I picked up again, especially knowing when to go aggressive is a big one with this guy. He knows when to go aggressive. But the Predator, to me, has just been a complete waste so far. Like, I think he would have actually had a better game if he went Electrocute. He'd be able to trade with the LeBlanc more. He'd have more burst. You know, whether he goes Ignite or Teleport, I don't think it really matters, but I don't know. So he, one thing I'll say is he's going bot lane. I don't know why, because again, this team comp, I would say, would want to take fights more than this one. Couple reasons why. One, the Diana is really weak compared to the Jax, and maybe you leave them in top lane and the Jax can split push against anything. LeBlanc coming down bot lane. Will the Vladimir get chained? Not so yet. Not so far. So that's good. Camille right here. Straight through. They did have full vision. He did not pop W at the right time, but he's just staying in W. Gets the kill with the Rakan. Good bait, I guess. Goes for a flash play. Nearly kills the Janna in one. Probably nothing else going to be from it, I would imagine. And there you go. Because overall, nice play, but I will say quite late Ws again. Like, Camille got her full ultimate on there when Vladimir was just kind of standing there. W it, would have bugged out the Camille a little bit more. That's what I like. That's what I would have liked to see. Blanc going for some damage. Doesn't manage to get too much. And again, weird game because the Kai'Sa is basically never grouping. So it's like a 3v3, 3v4 type game with Kai'Sa split pushing, getting a lot of farm. And again, this is why I've said to people a lot of the time, when people always talk about farm and ratings, it's situational. There's never a thing of like, oh, this is how much farm is good at this time, because it depends what type of game you're playing. This Vladimir has had an okay game, has got 140 farm at 18 minutes. To a lot of people, for a challenger game, that is actually not very good. They go for a LeBlanc kill, she gets her passive pop, Vladimir going to continue going for it, probably not going to get the kill. But yeah, 140 farm for a challenger game at 18 minutes, so a lot of people, they probably be like, that's not that good. Because like, there's Jax with 189. It's just difference of games. It's difference of what you're doing. It's how much you're split pushing, how much you're actually farming, how much you're fighting. So it's why I've always stayed kind of clear when people ask me questions of like, oh, what's good farm at 10 minutes? What's good farm at 15 minutes? It doesn't really exist because it's always situational depending on what type of game you're in. If you've got like 100 farm at 20 minutes, yeah, that sounds terrible. But if you've got like 8 kills, it's like, oh, that's why. So yeah. So, again, I want to know what build. Let's look at the goal just really quickly. So, mid lane, honestly, it's a very close game in mid. 7,200 to 7,400, well, 7,300 to 7,400. Very close gold in mid lane. There hasn't been much separating these mid laners, to be honest. There's been a bit of jungle pressure for both of them. 1v1 pressure has been very close. So, yeah, it's been just a general big game. So, the biggest difference, obviously, is top lane. The Jax is 3,000 clear gold ahead. But everywhere else is pretty damn even. There's not a massive separation, and that is mainly where we're getting this gold lead, to be honest. Because Jax is just, yeah. Again, it's why I'd be very careful of playing stuff that, you know, it just doesn't belong in those roles. Regardless if you're a one-trick or a main, it just doesn't belong. Like, a Diana, a challenger Diana player it's still a Diana, right? Like, sure, you're a great player, but in this rating, it really matters, like, where you're playing things. I'd say it probably matters less depending, like, what rating you're in. Like, if you're in bronze and you're playing Diana top lane, it probably doesn't matter as much because you're the person you're playing against doesn't know how to counter that as much as, say, a Challenger Jax knows, hey, I belong here in top lane, you don't as a Diana, I'm going to punish that. Anyway, the mid lane play happened, and obviously that's probably what we want to see from my team, is you want to see team fights from this team. So it's a bit weird that the Vladimir is split pushing. He does go for a teleport play to back up his team. Camille's damage is very, very high, going for the Kai'Sa play. Janna Tornado picks it up of all things. And again, bit of a mistake potentially for the Kai'Sa to be that close. But yeah, what I want to see from this team comp, and again, that's why I was like, I don't like Vladimir in bot lane, is you do want to see team fights. When you've got a Jax with an AoE stun who's just very strong, you've got a Vladimir, you've got a Kai'Sa who's quite strong, you've got a Rakan who's great at like engaging, you've got a Trundle that can be a front line. You want to team fight versus a weak Diana who's an assassin. There's a good W. She's going to do another chain. That's what we wanted to see. So you've got a weak Diana who's not a team fighter. You've got a LeBlanc who's not a team fighter. You've got an Ezreal which is okay, and you've got a Camille that's very squishy. You want this team to take team fights. But there you go. You just saw what I've wanted this Vladimir to do for the whole game, and that I think is the first time that he's done it properly, is W the first chain and then dodge the second one, and boom. Suddenly takes no damage, and he lives, and then he can potentially turn and out-trade the LeBlanc. So you can see here, the LeBlanc is 2 levels down this Vladimir, by the way, and you can slowly see this Vladimir's farm is starting to separate from the LeBlancs, which is good to see. So again, item-wise, I don't know what he's building. Again, I'm a bit of a derp, so I can't think at the top of my head what that actually is. They probably want to go for a Baron play because of how strong the Jax is just going to kill people. Like, he probably can 2v1 right now relatively easily. Boom, just instantly blows that Camille up. My team, or, you know, I say my team, the Vladimir team really should be doing Baron. You know, the Jax just killed the Camille, the enemy jungler, but they're not. So again, the decision-making of the Vladimir is to stay by himself, to split push. I guess that his thought process, and again, if I'm trying to think of what he's thinking, he should be at the stage of the game that LeBlanc doesn't do anything to him anymore. Should. So he's just going to take that and kind of use it as an advantage. Your LeBlanc can't do anything to me. I have AoE wave clear. I do have escape possibilities with my W. I'm just going to split push and start like bigging up my farm, because the biggest difference of his farm I think has ever been is now. Like, it hasn't been, he didn't win lane phase in farm, he was a little bit ahead, but he's starting to make that farm difference now of all times. You know, it's 22 minutes into the game. Predator pop, throws the ignite, goes for a full combo on the Ezreal. Ezreal manages to flash away. Janna goes for an ultimate play. Vladimir really wants to try and get something. Gets 2 flashes. My team, Vladimir team, get Baron. Trundle secures it. Diana gets 1 kill on the Rakan. They do manage to kill anybody in the pit. Vladimir's looking potentially for a flank. Random ignite from the Janna. I'm looking for him to W. Wasn't up actually on cooldown. He is by himself right now, so he might be a little bit overextended, and he does get himself killed. So that's a bit of a waste. That's a Baron buff down the drain. Jax coming in for a play. Does just go for an instant flash play. Gets a double stun, which is quite nice. He's going to continue going for one. This was the real LeBlanc, so Trundle's on her now. Don't know if he's going to get the kill because he actually has gone basically full tank Trundle. Cinderhulk and a Zeke's. So yeah, pure tank Trundle. He does go with the flash Q, does manage to get the kill, and that's going to be the game. So honestly, a pretty interesting game. So there you go. Vladimir's second item was just Death Cap. So overall, if I just summarize, again, just nice short and sweet game. I liked what the Vladimir did. Like, what you could tell was this guy has probably played a lot of Vladimir. You could probably tell he was a very good Vladimir. But a couple things, just to summarize. One, in the lane phase, I think he got punished by chains too much. Which, again, that is, you know, something to learn, I guess. And then my bigger point is I said a couple times, I don't know if it was worth him taking Predator. Because, like, most of the Predator uses this game just seem to be running around the map instead of actually using it. Like, the best Predator play that he did was in mid lane when he popped Predator, did the flash play on Camille. But you could argue with Electrocute, he probably would have had more damage for that play instead of having Predator. And then having Electrocute would have given him more lane pressure over the LeBlanc. So that's my only slight thing. As for learning this episode, I think I learned about confidence of when to go for things. I think that's the biggest thing of, like, you know, hey, I've bought a couple items on Vladimir. That Camille's got, you know, he'll always be judging. That Camille's got not much health. She's got not much resistance. I'm going for an all-in play now. But I probably wouldn't have done that. I probably would have just been farming and that's it. So that is something that is very valuable to me. And then also, like, he was basically split pushing in the late game for a lot of it, building his farm lead on the LeBlanc. And if you look at the end game, look at the gold. So Vladimir finishes is 10,200, LeBlanc finishes 9,000. That would have been probably the farming difference. Like, he chose to farm more than LeBlanc in late game, build that advantage. They were even for most of the game until that point. So that's going to be it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know what other champions you want to see in the comments down below. I am going to record a couple of these today. So, you know, if you request something this episode, it may not be the next episode because I already would have recorded it. But, you know, I'll see next time I record these what people want. So, yeah, put it down there. Leave any comments. Leave any thoughts that you have of this game. And that's going to be it. Like, subscribe. See you guys next time. See ya.